Welcome to News Today with Universal Parks News Today. I'm Tom Corliss. Please hit the like button and please subscribe for the latest on all the Universal parks and resorts around the world. Here now, the news for June 21st, 2024. Our first several stories actually, will concern the newest park coming to the Universal family of parks. That would be Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort, and another land has been revealed. This time, it is the Dark Universe. The land's name comes from a canceled series of Universal Monsters movies that were in development a couple years ago. One of those got made. Guests will enter the Dark Universe from Celestial Park through a portal in a giant dead tree, and a coil on top will crackle with purple energy. Once they pass through, guests will find themselves in a foggy, derelict cemetery on the edge of a village named Darkmoor. Universal previously stated that in Dark Universe, guests will encounter everything from the experiments of Dr. Victoria Frankenstein, sorry, it's a bad joke, to a shadowy landscape where monsters roam in this world of myth and mystery. The land's music will reportedly be composed by Danny Elfman. Once guests travel through the cemetery, they'll be in the village itself, where misbegotten scientific experiments scar the land and unnatural creations lurk in the shadows. Quote, "We created a village and a world beyond it where not only can these stories come together, but new stories can come in as well. Now you're in the same place where all these stories come together, but it's current day," said Pete Carcillo, the senior creative director for Dark Universe. Dark Universe will host 2 attractions as well as meet and greets with some of Universal's most famous monsters. As Darkmoor exists in the present day, there is also a new Dr. Frankenstein to encounter. In the distance is Frankenstein Manor. It's here that guests will experience the dark ride titled Monsters Unchained: The Frankenstein Experiment. Dr. Victoria Frankenstein, great-great-great-granddaughter of Dr. Henry Frankenstein, has invited guests to see her latest experiment. She has already brought her own creature back from the dead and is now working to, quote-unquote, rehabilitate the monsters terrorizing the village and restore her family name. As Victoria's guests, riders will see her attempt to tame Dracula, but that will backfire as chaos erupts and they are pursued deeper into the catacombs by the Universal monsters. We see a maniacal side of her even though she's our hero. The monsters are released and it's up to her, Frankenstein, and Igor to help save the day while we're stuck in the middle of the chaos, said Greg Hall, the creative director of Dark Universe. Riders will see all sorts of monsters who have become the subjects of Victoria's experiments, including the Brides of Dracula, the creature from the Black Lagoon, the Wolfman, the Mummy, and the Phantom of the Opera. Ultimately, the question will be asked, who is the real monster? What I want guests to say is that was one of the scariest things I've ever done in my life, and you have to try it. It's hard to scare people these days. We want to make sure they have fun and they see something they'll never forget, said Hall. In the woods that border the village lies the other Dark Universe attraction, the Curse of the Werewolf. The family coaster will be located in a colorful encampment named the Guild of Mystics, where Guild Seer and leader Meleva will warn visitors that they bear the mark of the werewolf. Though Meleva appears in the 1941 film The Wolfman, this version of the character has been updated to reflect the fictional culture of the Guild of Mystics. It feels really updated, but you could literally trace this Meleva back to another Meleva back to the movie. So now you experience Meleva and her mystics, but it's with a lot of richness and a lot of color, stuff you couldn't get in the old black and white, said Pete Carcillo. Following Meleva's warning, riders will set out on their adventure under the light of the full moon, speeding through the forest as they're pursued by werewolves. Guests will eventually come face to face with the fearsome beasts, spinning out as they avoid their teeth and claws in the Darkmoor Armory. Guests will also be able to encounter characters in Dark Universe, including Frankenstein's monster and the Bride of Frankenstein, Igor, and the Invisible Man. Make your jokes about an Invisible Man meet and greet now, kids. In addition, guests may also run into one of the Hounds. They're monster hunters who've set up shop in the Burning Blade Tavern and attempt to defend Darkmoor and its villagers. A roaming musician will also be spotted wandering through the village performing songs of old. There's so much for guests to do and see and discover. I really hope that the strokes that we've taken here feed the monster kids that are out there, the people who really love the legacy. And I hope that it starts a fire of passion for these characters in new audiences, said Chris Frisella, the executive producer of Dark Universe. One restaurant offering is Das Steakhouse, located deep under Darkmoor in the ancient catacombs that vampires call home. It is said that the familiars of said vampires oversee the establishment, which will be decorated with classical artwork and opulent relics that harken back to vampiric culture. The fast casual restaurant will offer kebabs, burgers, sandwiches, and ribs, as well as other offerings. I'm personally curious if they'll have a vegan option. The next restaurant we'll talk about is the Burning Blade Tavern, which is inspired by a scene in the 1931 Frankenstein film, where an angry mob of villagers set the old mill aflame during the infamous Frankenstein incident. Now, Darkmoor's monster hunters haunt the halls. Here, guests can enjoy tavern fare, peruse the hunters' trophies, and hear tales from the village's residents. And as for why it's called the Burning Blade Tavern, well, the mill that sits atop the structure will erupt into flames every 20 minutes. The menu here will include burgers, wings, bratwurst, pretzels, and beverages. Those who enjoyed the Monster Makeover temporary offering at Universal Studios Florida earlier this year will be happy to know that a new experience will be available in Dark Universe. That is the Darkmoor Monster Makeup Experience. Here, guests can transform into their inner monster in Dr. Septimus Pretorius's former lab with the help of monster makers. If you want to be a monster, you can actually be made up like a monster. Or if you want to be a little more meta, you can come in and get your whole family covered up in temporary tattoos. In Dark Universe, you can walk around with temporary tattoos on when you're 5, said Pete Carcillo. It's really about the care that has been taken as we've crafted these stories and this land to really respect the history of these films. But we're not being charged with creating a museum, we're being charged with creating a living, breathing world and experience, said Chris Frisella. So there you go. There's the reveal of Dark Universe. I think for me, it's the area I'm the most excited about. I mean, Nintendo probably would be if I hadn't seen it in 2 other parks already. I'm sure I'll be happy to have Donkey Kong at home if and when that ever opens here in Japan. We will wait and see. It's not passing its tests, so we're still waiting to see if before I leave and go back to Orlando at the end of the summer if I'll actually get to ride Donkey Kong. We'll see. But I mean, Dark Universe looks great. Let us know what part you're most excited about in the comments. I'm going to tell you, mine is going to be the nerdiest and the lamest. I'm excited about live entertainment. This is the stuff I wish everyone was doing. Look, I think the rides will be fun. I don't know that they're going to be earth-shattering necessarily, but I like when you go to a place and the place feels real. That's what I love most about themed entertainment. And so having these monster hunters walking around and the characters and the musician, those are the things I like that really, I'm going to use the buzzword, immerse. Those are the things that immerse you and make you feel like you're in the place. And that's what theme parks do best, I think, at least in the modern age. So that's what I'm excited about. Let me know in the comments what part you are excited about. Sticking with Dark Universe, we now have the height requirements for the 2 rides that'll be available in that land. First up, Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein Experiment will require a height of 48 inches, or 122 centimeters. Of course, again, we just talked about that ride. That ride system is suspected to be very similar to Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. It'll be a Kuka arm ride technology, so that would be why that is a relatively high height requirement. Meanwhile, Curse of the Werewolf, which is a family coaster in advertising, will have a 40-inch height requirement that's 102 centimeters tall. So both rides in that land, you'll need to be at least 40 inches to experience either of them. Sticking with Epic Universe, of course, as many of you know already, the Epic Universe Preview Center is now open at CityWalk at Universal Orlando Resort, and we were there to check it out. You could check out a great video tour we have right here on the channel. We're going to continue to update you as they update the augmented reality interactive features here. As with Dark Universe opening, they updated that to have an AR feature for the rides in that land, so you can get a taste of what they might be like. But the Preview Center is now open. It takes over the space formerly occupied by the Universal Legacy Store. A screen mounted on the facade displays the Epic Universe logo and concept art, along with digital flyover videos of the park. The windows display merchandise around golden rings. Starry clouds are along the bottoms of the displays, and the backgrounds feature more celestial theming. Each display is set inside a large silver frame with a rounded opening. The entrance marquee resembles one of those golden portals that'll be in the park, which lead to each of the lands, whether that be Celestial Park, Dark Universe, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic, How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk, and Super Nintendo World. The interior uses more gold and green decorative elements, like these platforms displaying a family of mannequins wearing Epic Universe apparel. There are merchandise displays across the floor. 4 golden archways are on the wall showing concept art for one of the 4 IP-based lands beyond. The golden archways are topped with medallions representing the respective lands. Similar medallions will top each real portal in Epic Universe. The new Dark Universe art features a Darkmoor sign on a broken stone wall, and a manor house is in the distance, and the medallion features a features lightning striking a rod. The How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Burkard features the island's mountainous features beyond a lagoon. The new concept art for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic features long Parisian streets. The entrance to Le Cercle Arcanus is at the end, next to a building featuring an Eiffel Tower decoration. The Super Nintendo World concept art is a look down into the Mushroom Kingdom with Donkey Kong Country in the background. Part of Yoshi's adventure is across the center, and a toadstool is on the medallion. The walls and some display shelves are shades of blue representing the sky, and the blue walls have white specks representing stars. The room is roughly split into sections for each IP, and there's new merchandise for each of the IP lands. I invite you to go to universalparksnewstoday.com. We photographed every single item and have prices for you if you want to get some window shopping done in advance. Of course, there is the giant model as well. I could break that down in this video, but you're probably better off just head over. You should be on our channel already, but on our channel, we do have a video tour of the model. There's a photo tour of the model on our website as well for you to peruse. And we hope you enjoy it. Universal Studios Hollywood has announced a new house coming to Halloween Horror Nights this year. It will be Dead Exposure, Death Valley. The official Halloween Horror Nights Instagram account announced the latest haunted house. Enter a top-secret government facility where an experiment to create super soldiers has gone horribly wrong, turning people into radioactive zombies, and they escape just as you arrive. Tickets are on sale now for the event. I read it. It's in the quote. But Dead Exposure is a recurring original Horror Nights concept that premiered in Orlando back in 2008. After a decade-long break, the concept returned as Dead Exposure Patient Zero in 2018. Patient Zero was considered a spiritual sequel to the original house, so while both houses were zombie-themed, they had very little in common aside from that. And while the original Orlando house introduced Halloween Horror Nights characters such as Charlie McPherson and Mary Agana, we don't expect them to make an appearance since they were not involved in Patient Zero either. And of course, there are also some legal issues with Agana, who is based on the Bloody Mary urban legend, which Universal may or may not have been sued for in the past. This is the first time that Dead Exposure as a concept is coming to Hollywood. We don't expect similarities, but we'll wait and see. But this is the second house announced for Horror Nights in Hollywood, the first being A Quiet Place, which was announced on June 6th. Again, tickets for the event, which runs from September 5th through November 3rd, are on sale now. Sticking with Halloween Horror Nights, we are going to jump over to Universal Orlando Resort, where a number of new merchandise items have already been released. The new items have a shared theme, which mostly is Little Boo. Little Boo is prominently featured on these items. He got a cult following since making his first appearance at Wicked Growth Realm of the Pumpkin at Halloween Horror Nights 30 a few years back. But now he is featured on a Halloween Horror Nights 33 black t-shirt, which is $33. He's not having a good time on these items. Little Boo's scared. Halloween Horror Nights 33 Little Boo ornament is $20. There's a Little Boo coaster for $12 as well. And then a couple days later, they in fact added another item, which I think may be the most popular. That would be a Halloween Horror Nights 33 Little Boo Tumbler, which you can get for $40. The merchandise is available at various locations across Universal Orlando Resort. The brand new nighttime spectacular CineSational, a symphonic spectacular, has now debuted at the Universal Orlando Resort. The drone show utilizes water screens, fountains, lasers, and more special effects, highlighting fan-favorite properties from Universal Studios films and park attractions, and even some non-Universal films, in fact. Directional signage is set up daily with the show times and points where guests should go to see the show. Universal Orlando annual pass holders have exclusive viewing areas as well, and signage will guide you to those too. The CineSational logo is displayed on the water screens, and DreamWorks properties are featured since Universal now owns the animation studio. The new DreamWorks land, of course, also opened at the park on June 14th, also at Universal Studios Florida, just like this show. How to Train Your Dragon will be heavily featured at Epic Universe, but it does appear also in this nighttime spectacular. You'll also find the Universal Globe, E.T. is featured, and a personal favorite of mine, the Ghostbusters, back to life at Universal Orlando. Brings a smile to my face. Of course, the Minions have to be featured as King Kong is, and Back to the Future as well. You can watch the full new nighttime show right here on our channel. Let us know what you think in the comments. I haven't watched it yet. I want to see it in person when I come home in a couple weeks. I'm going to go check out I have a whole lineup of things I have to do at Universal. I got to go to the preview center. I got to go see DreamWorks Land. I still haven't seen that. I need to go see this nighttime show. a lot on my agenda, and the tribute store still as well. I'm very behind. Meanwhile, Islands of Adventure is not getting left out on the summer fun, as they have a new nighttime show you could check out in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Hogsmeade. That would be Hogwarts Always. The show is described by Universal Orlando as one that takes you on a magical journey through a school year at Hogwarts. It includes projections on the castle, alongside unforgettable music and incredible moments of wizardry. Hogwarts Always will run on select nights through August 25th, likely to make way for the return of the Halloween season projection show, which is Dark Arts at Hogwarts Castle. You can watch the video right here on our YouTube channel. Now, I already mentioned Sunday, August 25th. That's an important date to remember because CineSational, a symphonic spectacular, will also end its run on Sunday, August 25th as well. So both of these shows going to conclude for the time being on August 25th. Now, as for Universal's Mega Movie Parade, which will premiere on Wednesday, July 3rd, that will be performed through Thursday, November 14th, which presumably it's taking a break for the holiday parade featuring Macy's. But again, all of these shows are expected to return sometime in the future. These will only be sort of a seasonal outage, if you will, so other seasonal offerings can roll in. The KidZone Pizza Company at Universal Studios Florida is no more, as it is now the DreamWorks Imagination Cafe. The DreamWorks Imagination Cafe menu has been unveiled at the rethemed dining location in the new DreamWorks land. We got our first look at the new menu and exterior of the DreamWorks Imagination Cafe. The newly themed quick service restaurant replaces KidZone Pizza Company, again in what now classified as part of DreamWorks land. The only entree available at the location will be the Ogrioni Pizza. That's the Ogre Pizza. Don't get too excited. It is just a basic pepperoni pizza with mozzarella cheese and basil. In addition to pizza, the location has 3 desserts. The first dessert is the Boss Baby Beignets. These beignets are the same they offer during Mardi Gras. They cost $5.99. Additional desserts include strawberry soft paws and Can't Stop the Donut strawberry soft paws in a fresh bowl of strawberries for $4.99. Can't Stop the Donut is a frosted donut with sprinkles and whipped topping. The dessert costs $4.29. The exterior of the building has undergone a complete makeover. It's now blue with white clouds, and the iconic DreamWorks moon is there. The Universal Studios KidZone Pizza Company sign was removed last month. There's no new sign up in its place just yet, but we assume eventually there will be. When we say retheme, we use that term very lightly, as in they painted the building and redid the menu. They didn't really do a whole lot else to this location, but it is open now. A new wand display cover at Universal Orlando Resort gives us a hint of new interactive wands coming soon for guests to enjoy. A tapestry-inspired cover has gone up in the Harry Potter room of the Universal Studios store at Universal CityWalk Orlando. The cover is where wands used to be displayed, indicating it is probably hiding something to do with the resort's rumored new interactive wands and spells. The cover is at the very back of the room. It juts out from the wall between 2 sets of display shelves. Wands are still available for purchase, but there are significantly fewer than before, as if they're trying to run through the existing stock before a new stock comes in. The cover features 1, The Lady and the Unicorn tapestry. These are a series of real 15th century tapestries on display in the Musée de Cluny in Paris. Replicas of the tapestry hang in the Gryffindor Common Room in Hogwarts in the Harry Potter series. New interactive wands and related experiences are reportedly coming to the existing Wizarding World and then the new Epic Universe. The new wands may connect to the Universal Orlando Resort app, similar to the VillainCon Minion Blast Blasters and the Super Nintendo World Power-Up Bands, tracking your progress and achievements. The old interactive wands would still work with the new spells, but would not connect to the app, supposedly. New props and cameras for the magic spells have been installed in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter at the Orlando Resort. And of course, old interactive wands were 70% off at last year's garage sale, and Universal has offered a free interactive wand with the purchase of $300 merchandise gift card as well. Epic Universe, including the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic, will open next year, but we would suspect these new wands will debut in the original lands before then. They'll want to work out all the kinks before that park opens, I'm sure. Universal Destinations and Experiences has filed a new dynamic seating patent that will give guests more control over their ride experience. Attraction System for Amusement Park is a new patent filed by Universal Destinations and Experiences, intended to create a whole new way for guests to experience an attraction. The patent focuses on how seats will impact the ride and gives guests the illusion of movement even when they are completely still. The new seating will adjust to different guest movements and interactions, giving guests a personalized attraction experience. The patent implies that the new seats will be able to move riders through sitting and standing positions depending on their actions. There's no more information available at this time, but it's interesting to look at these things and get an idea of maybe what may be waiting for us down the road. Universal Studios Hollywood is offering guests a special deal where they can buy a day and get a second day free for a limited time. The BOGO general admission ticket is available for purchase until October 9th. The ticket is valid through December 18th, although guests must complete their first visit on a selected date. There are no blockout dates for the first visit. The second visit has the following blockout dates of July 6th, 13th, 20th, and 27th, September 7th, 14th, 21st, and 28th, October 5th, 12th, 19th, and 26th, November 27th, 29th, and 30th, and December 1st. The buy a day, get a second day free ticket starts at $109 and can be purchased on the Universal Studios Hollywood website. Universal Studios Japan has announced they are collaborating with the anime series Chainsaw Man for upcoming offerings in the park. Universal Studios Japan didn't announce details of the Chainsaw Man event, but said guests will experience a dark and chaotic world full of surprises. It may be included in Halloween Horror Nights, but Universal has not said that at this time. Chainsaw Man is a Japanese series written and illustrated by Tatsuki Fujimoto. Its first arc was serialized from December 2018 to December of 2020. The second arc began in July of 2022. The anime premiered in late 2022. It follows Denji, a teenager who transforms into the Chainsaw Man to fight devils. That's all we know. I am not familiar with Chainsaw Man, but I'm sure guests here in Japan and some of you in the U.S. who are familiar with this series will be excited to hear what it's going to be. And we'll keep you in the loop as we find out more. We'll actually be going to Universal Studios Japan soon to cover their new summer offerings, including an update to the parade, which if you've not seen it before, you can watch it here on the channel, which includes Nintendo and Pokemon and a lot of really cool stuff. It's worth a watch if you haven't watched it. But real quick, I want to plug Carousel of Products. You could shop now at shop.wdwnt.com. Don't miss out on our 30th anniversary of the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror inspired shirt, which has limited quantities. They're going quick. Make sure you pick that up. We have lots of other great stuff there and more to come as well. So please, if you want to help support the channel, that's a great way. Another great way is the WDWNT Interglobe Society, which you could join at patreon.com/WDWNT. Become a member today for exclusive access, discounts, all sorts of great stuff. Again, patreon.com/WDWNT. For Universal Parks News Today, this is Tom Corliss saying the future is whatever you make it, so make it a good one.